Hello, my name is Bernhard Edmeyer. I'm the founder and CEO of B2RIDE. B2RIDE is a provider of a smart business ride-sharing and van pooling solution for employees, focusing on vulnerable people in rural areas. It is our mission to empower people to simply use shared mobility services. Here is a typical example of a general problem of today. 160,000 inhabitants live in the district of Würzburg in Germany. Every day, 60,000 commuters are using the routes from home in the rural area to work in the urban area. The downside, the volume of traffic is constantly increasing, and with it, traffic jams, parking stress, and pollution. There are 7 employers located in the city area, 3 authorities, 3 companies, and 1 hospital, with a total of 14,000 employees. 2,000 people have disabilities. They suffer from transport poverty on their way between home and work and to leisure activities. The transport services for severely disabled people are very expensive and paid by the authorities. Our solution is based on 3 main pillars. On the one hand, we provide employees with the necessary matching software. We developed inclusive features and services for vulnerable people, and our van pooling service operates like a taxi service with a dedicated driver. On the other hand, we manage the operational services for the employers. With our unique onboarding services, we can reach up to 20% of all employees. And we have the necessary experience in dealing with large companies and tenders. In order to increase our user community, for example, in the district of Würzburg, we are also using our rideshare and van pool solution across organizational boundaries. And finally, we support integration into any mobility as a service platform to open the community to everyone. The matching software is fully available. Rides can be requested and offered with front ends such as Android and iOS apps, web browsers, and even calendars. Users usually register with an email of the customer domain and are matched in real time. Especially for vulnerable people, we have created new types of users who can use special B2RIDE services with a token for registration. New matching groups make it possible to bring together people in wheelchairs with people who are willing to transport them. You can also match people in wheelchairs into larger vehicles. Users can define their ride preferences, for example, to restrict matching to women only or to be matched with disabled people. Our van pooling service operates like a taxi service and provides a safe ride between home and work, especially for vulnerable people. If the vans are provided by the employer and colleagues on their regular commute are the drivers, the cost per ride are only 5 to 10% of the cost of a taxi. In our role as mobility manager for the employer, we perform the necessary operational services such as reporting and gamification. In the reports, we provide all the necessary details on a daily basis, such as the number of users, the number of travel requests, the matched travel requests, the role of users such as driver, passenger, or both, and the distance and emissions avoided. There's a lot of additional data that we evaluate with business intelligence tools. Based on all this data, we suggest activities to the employer to ensure that the ride-sharing community flourishes. This may include communication, lotteries, rewards for the leaderboard, and information days on mobility. In order to inform all users about the travel requests offered, we provide all details of departures and arrivals at a customer location in real time, which can be displayed in the canteen or near the reception. Our customers typically do not have the resources or expertise to manage the implementation of a ride-sharing and van pooling solution. With our services, we enable a successful onboarding of the employees. In consultation with the client, we provide a project manager, we draw up the project plan, the task and milestones, and propose the necessary marketing content. Since the software is white-label software, we configure the client's corporate identity, all predefined sites, and required functions. We help employees to change their behavior by no longer driving alone in a car, but as drivers or passengers in a carpool or van pool. To gain the necessary knowledge, we offer registration workshops and training on software functions on-site and online. All information is placed on the customer's intranet, and communicated to the users via all available channels. The willingness of employees can be achieved through financial incentives, social activities, and comfort benefits such as reserved parking spaces for drivers or door-to-door transport for passengers. In order to enlarge our user community, we offer B2RIDE to organizations in the neighborhood of our clients in the industrial zones and city districts. We can match users across organizations' boundaries. We support the integration of all travel requests into any mobility as a service platform to open the community for everyone. With Deutsche Bahn, we are now partnering to realize a first implementation. We have already gained traction in 2019 when B2RIDE won an award at the By Startup Business Plan competition in Bavaria. At our first customer in Austria, we fulfilled over 10,000 ride requests and avoided 150,000 kilometers of driving distance. Today, we have signed contracts from 3 authorities and 4 companies and 850 paid user subscriptions. Employers of vulnerable people in rural areas told us in interviews that there's a huge need for ride sharing and van pooling for commuting between home and work and for recreational activities. Based on the source of theexaminer.com, the global carpooling will have a market size of $11 billion in 2025. Focusing on Europe and corporate carpooling, the market still has a size of $780 million. The expected growth rate year on year is 18.49%. Our beachhead market is Germany with 249 districts, 16 state authorities, and 80,000 companies with more than 50 employees. And Austria with 79 districts, 9 state authorities, and 6,500 companies with more than 50 employees. Our revenues are primarily based on subscriptions per user of our rideshare and mempool solution paid for by employers. In addition, we are paid for hardware per product, such as rewards, displays, or even charging stations. Workshops are paid per day and consulting for onboarding services and training per hour. Thanks to HiReach, we identified a new target group. We did a lot of interviews with authorities, hospitals, and companies employing people with disabilities. And we got fantastic support to develop our new services and had great coaches. We would love to continue with the pilot development, to finalize our work on van pooling for people in wheelchairs, to provide our services across organizations' borders, to do the first mass integration with Deutsche Bahn, and run several pilots with our 7 customers. We look forward to presenting our results at the final demo in Brussels. Here you can see our main competitors in Germany and Austria. With a headquarters in Munich, we want to operate in all European countries. Our target groups are authorities, companies, and districts. Our key competitive advantages are: first, unique operating and onboarding services; second, unique ride-sharing and van pooling services as well for vulnerable people; and our strong cooperation partners. We have a very lean core team. Barbara has a master in automotive and mobility management and is responsible for business development and project management. Before she joined B2RIDE in 2019, she worked as a research associate at the Ingolstadt University of Technology. I did a PhD in telecommunications after I finished a master in electrical engineering at the Munich University of Technology. I have worked 23 years for British Telecom Global Services in several roles. It is our mission to empower people to simply use shared mobility services. Our vision is to become the business ride-sharing and van pooling solution provider with the best customer experience in Europe in 2025. So please talk to us to bring B2RIDE to new regions and customers. Thank you very much for your attention.